Now we will discuss appraising models of lexical access. All models of lexical access provide an explanation for the word frequency effect and semantic priming. Before we move on to that, we have to understand that humans have the ability to determine or to discriminate meanings for practically numerous number of utterances that they make. Now, this ability to understand and make new combination defines the productivity. The idea of combination or combining words lead us to the combinatorial approach, where one can see the language having the hierarchical system. At each level of the hierarchy, we see units being distinctive units and leaving their distinctive marks or imprints on mind. Neurolinguistics, linguistics, psycholinguistics, research belonging to these domains are trying to address the phenomena such as that how at each level these units are represented in the mental lexicon and the combinatoric units, whether they entail the linguistic patterns or the general mechanism. Looking at the word frequency priming and cohort model, we will discuss what the word frequency have to explain in terms of appraising model of lexicon access. Now, as we can see, all models consider this, especially logogen and search model. Now, the explanation for the word frequency effect provided by logogen is that each time a word is encountered, threshold for the logogen is temporarily lowered. That is that after the word, for example, heart is presented, less sensory information, for example, less audible sound would be needed to recognize this word again. So, any word which requires less sensory information, for example, less audible sound, would be needed to recognize the word again, would not need a further sensory information when the word is repeated again. With high frequency word, the recovery from the lowering of the threshold is less complete than low frequency words, so less sensory information is needed for recognition. The words who are of high frequency, for them you need less sensory information. Then in search model, frequency effects are explained in terms of how words are stored in the various files. So this is related to the storage of word file. High frequency words are stored in the higher and low frequency words, and the search process begins at the top of the files. So accordingly, lexical access is more rapid for high frequency words. So the search process begins from the top, and lexical access is more rapid for high frequency words. Now in cohort model, many words candidates are activated in the initial access phase, but more frequent words would be chosen in the subsequent section stage as well. So you have the initial stage activation, but it is not only restricted to the initial stage. You would also have the frequent activation of the frequent words in the subsequent selection stage as well. So all these models can explain the word frequency effect. Coming to the semantic priming, we have to understand that what semantic has to talk about. According to cohort A word is recognized at the point that a particular word can be uniquely distinguished from any of the other words in the word initial cohort set, which was defined exclusively by the bottom-up information in the signal. Three models have been developed to explain how we access lexically ambiguous words. The active search, logogen, and cohort model can each describe some of the findings, but the cohort model appears to be the best position to explain the entire system.